Brian, you're with the club, what, 6 years now?
6 years, Stevie. 5 full seasons. We lost a year to COVID. So this month, actually, 6 years ago, I met with the committee.
Now, for our viewers out there this evening, just go through what you have won.
Oh, well. The first year, I suppose, we started out in Division 2 and we won the league and cup double, which was fantastic. We went up then to Division 1 and we won a league and cup double again. And we got to the last 32 of the FEI Junior Cup, where we lost to Gorey Rangers. We had a great victory over Rosslare in the last 64. It's always great to get to the latter stage of them competitions. It doesn't happen too much for clubs like Cashel, but it's fantastic. And then we got a great run in the Munster the same year, and we were knocked out 2-0, 2 very late goals by Coachford, who went on to the semi-final that year.
That was so unfortunate, that one.
Yeah, it was a very late penalty in the 89th minute, put them 1-0 up. And we were after missing 3 or 4 great chances on the day. And then they went down and scored a breakaway right at the end. But it was a fantastic effort. And right at the end of that season, actually, Steve, we were 1 point away from winning the league and the COVID shutdown came in. And that was in March. And we got back in July. They opened up in July. So we ended up playing our last few league games behind closed doors. And we had a great victory in the Shield final above in Tipp Town, behind closed doors again with no crowd. So that gave us a double again.
Did that affect you in any way?
Yeah, well, I remember we going back after the few months and we were all saying that after everyone being maybe locked up and at home for the few months, that even when we went back for any club, everything was a little bit stale. And yeah, and we lost a few players, 1 or 2 decided to march on and head off travelling and stuff. But we got the double done again and we went to the Premier League the following season, or we lost the full year then to COVID. We were just about to start in September, October again, and next thing, this second wave as they call it came, and they didn't start again till the next year because it was after Christmas when everything was. So we lost 1 full year. We had to rebuild a whole new team, lost a lot of players to retirement, few players went to Germany, Switzerland, and we had a very solid year. I think we finished 5th or 6th place in the Premier League. And the following year then, which was last year, Stevie, we had to bring through a load of young lads. We brought through a load of young lads off the U team, and we were unfortunately relegated on 15 points, which was very harsh. We thought we had a great season, having great victories away from home, and 15 points is a decent total in the Premier League when you have teams like St Michael's, Peak Villa, Clonmel Town, Clonmel Celtic. So we were going through a rebuilding stage,
Yep. Well, right now I'm going to have a chat with Lee Dudley, and we'll just pass the mic over to Lee. He was talking there about losing players through COVID, etc. How did that affect the team, Lee?
Yeah, it was almost like starting again, to be honest, Stevie. You're trying to motivate players to get back into action. Boca's out trying to sign new players in from players that we've lost to people that are travelling or doing different things. And we really went the route of investing into the young players. We've had a good youth set up there for the last few seasons, and we knew that some of the youth players would have a lot to learn, and we might lose a few games because of that. But in the long run, and what's showing now, it's really starting to pay off, I think.
Talk to me about your own part in coaching, because you've been involved with it now for 6 years. But was it easy? I would imagine it was probably easy to coach these guys. They're so good, like they're just going to sit down, listen, and they'll take in everything that you're saying, yeah?
Well, I wish it was easy as that now, Stevie, to be fair, but no, this year especially, the group of players we've got and the group of players Boc is after, grouping up after the last couple of years, to be honest, it has been very, very easy. I don't think in 6 years, Boc, we've had this commitment from this group of players. And for the first time in all my years at the club, we have, 20 players training every week in, week out. And we had a long season this year. We had 11 months the season was.
So you get a good commitment then?
Huge commitment, to be fair. And, with the bad weather, we had a lot of games called off. I mean, I think we went through 5-6 weeks, was it? six weeks in a row without no game. So it was tough, and lads was
How
still
did that
coming up
affect you?
training.
How did that affect performances?
It did towards the tail end. It did, because we were in good momentum. We were in a winning mentality. We were on a good winning streak, and when the game stopped, then obviously it's going to affect you, and it drains you a little bit because you're giving so much commitment. So it's tough. It's tough on the players, to be fair.
Brian, when Lee was just saying there about it affecting the lads, what did you tell him?
Yeah, well, people, I suppose, Stevie, one thing I always said is Lee's a fantastic coach, and we can come up do training, and he's got a lot more involved this year in the side of being in contact with players and stuff like that. One of the hardest things is trying to motivate players that come back from injury. When there's no game on Sundays, fellas say, oh jeez, here we go again. Do they want to go training Tuesday and Thursday because there's no match the weekend? But our lads did. We were just getting behind them. I was telling them the reward will be there at the end of the season, and like that, we had the League One before Christmas, as good as. So we just had a lot of games called off. So we wrapped up the league title.
So you had enough of points accumulated at that stage, really, didn't you?
Yeah, we just needed one or two more was all, and we had 6 or 7 games
But that
left.
took the pressure off, didn't it?
It did, but what was happening was we were due to get the League Cup on several Sundays, and it was called off, and it just momentum, as they said, disappointment and stuff. And up till then, 2 or 3 weeks ago, through no fault of anyone really, just the bad weather, we ended up in 3 semi-finals in 6 days. The Paddy
Did that take its toll on you?
Of course it did, Stevie. We've a nice tight knit 18 to 20 players, 1 or 2 long-term injuries, and we played Cullen in a Shield semi-final on a Sunday. That was a nail-biting game, and we scored a 90-minute winner to beat Cullen 2-1. On the Wednesday night we played Clonmel Celtic and lost 4-1 in the Tipperary Cup semi-final, and that was actually a lot closer than the scoreline suggested. And fair play to Clonmel Celtic, they went on and they were unlucky in the final to lose 1-0 to St Michael's. But fast forward 3 days, we had to go to Galway in the Paddy Purtle semi-final, and of all things the game went to extra time.
Well, you're never going to get it easy there.
No, and we came out 2-0 win on a very tight game, and then we had a week off, and we had to play the Paddy Purtle final, which we lost to Cullen 3-2. A devastating loss for ourselves. It's a cup we really wanted to win and try and win. I don't know that we put ourselves under too much pressure, but great credit goes to Cullen. They've had a fantastic season as well, and I know a lot of their players.
Lee, he said about putting yourselves under pressure. Did you feel that you were putting yourselves under pressure?
A little bit, yeah. We probably got a little bit caught up in the moment, me included, because it's one we've left behind before. Myself and Brian we left one behind a few seasons ago where we thought we won the Shield and the league, and we should have added the Paddy Purtle to it.
So you learned lessons from that?
Yeah, and I suppose it was the one we were really targeting, but at the same time, it's a cup final. Only one team can win on the day. Our lads gave it their all at the end, and what impressed me more about the defeat, to be honest, was the response the week after and the performance the lads put in after to make sure we won the double and make a great season, a really, really great season.
Brian, he was just saying there about getting a response from the players. That is crucial.
Yeah, we had a great training session. We trained the Wednesday night after the Paddy Purtle final, and we basically had an open question and answers to the players. And one thing that I hit home and I said to the players, I just said, have no doubt, lads, that none of you are going to England to play soccer anytime soon, and I'm certainly not going to manage any team in England. So I firmly believe junior football is about making friends, going out having fun, that outlet away from...
And building up a relation.
Yeah, the big bad world,
lads,
and having something to look forward to. There's nothing better coming into a dressing room with a bond with a team of lads you'll go to war with. And I find at Cashel we very much have that. In the cup final, we played V Rovers on Friday night after that, and V, great lads, great team, would never give up. You'll always earn your victory against V. We were 3-0 up after 20 minutes. I thought we brought the spirit of the week before, the training session, into the game, and ultimately we had a 4-1 victory in what was a very good game. That V never give up. So it gave us the double. We had a great celebration Friday night. We had our Player of the Year awards, and 11 months, 1 week since we went back pre-season. The season ends.
How many sessions?
We had 71 training sessions, Stevie. We looked at the book the other night. 71 training sessions and 34 games, including pre-season.
Okay, Lee, 71 training sessions. Was there any major injuries with certain players or anything like that? Was there any disruption that way?
No, we were. Well, yeah. I suppose we forgot about Owen actually. Yeah, Owen with his appendix out, so we lost Owen for a good few games. Colin Mayher, he was out for a good part of the season too.
But how did that disrupt you then?
Well, we were lucky to have a big squad, and not only we were lucky to have a big squad. It's easy to have a big squad, but we had a big squad of talented players at the end of the day. And I think one thing the two of us can pride ourselves on this year is using that whole squad for all the league games this year. And everyone's played their part. And it's like when one player gets injured, one fella comes in, takes his chance, and we're confident in them players that come in for them at the end of the day, you know.
You got a great commitment, as we were saying there a little bit earlier. What is it about this bunch of players? Because you seem to be just getting this commitment, no hassle, no problem, and no cribbing, anything like that. Just let's get on with it.
Yeah, we've never look. Boca's played for a good few clubs, as we know, and I've played for a few clubs, and been part of some few great teams, you know. But I've never worked in a dressing room or played in a dressing room like these lads, and they're the ones that when it's raining on a Tuesday night and you're kind of thinking that's what motivates you, because you know there's going to be 16, 17 lads. You put a poll up on WhatsApp and you see 18 responses for a cold Tuesday night, and then it just motivates you to get up and do it yourself then too, because they're a great bunch of lads. I can't say enough about this group of lads. I really can't.
Lee, for yourself as a coach, what's it like for you working with Boca? What has he got?
I
He
think
says he's half mad. Is that correct?
no, I think I've drove him mad more than he's drove me mad, to be fair, over the last 6 seasons. Look, I just think we work well. We respect each other. We listen to each other, and to be fair, Boca gives me free rein too, you know, which is a big thing. He won't step in and stop me from trying new things or
but you
implementing
know what
new
you're
things.
doing, so it works both ways.
Yeah, exactly. And we can say, I could say, oh, maybe this player should come off, and then Boca would say, yeah, but hold on a minute now, this fella, he's a bit leggy, played 2 games, and then we work out between each other, and it works well. I couldn't ask for a better person to work with the last 6
Did you ever say
seasons.
to yourself, why not move him to a different position and do just a bit of change in that way rather than bring him off? Because sometimes maybe your bench wouldn't be as strong
Exactly, and that's
as you
why
would expect.
we're always talking on the sideline, and to be fair to Johnny Morrissey, the three of us will be there chatting and bouncing off different ideas of each other. Look, ultimately at the end of the day, Boca's the manager, and what Boca wants, Boca gets. But it's never really feels like that he always wants to get his own way. He often listens to us, and yeah, it works well, Stevie, in that sense, you know.
Brian, for yourself, it's, you know, the players, they have great respect for you.
Yeah, look, like I said, Stevie, even going into the game on Friday night, I felt all week that this wasn't about me, this wasn't about Lee. I really felt like I don't care about another trophy as a manager winning. I wanted this for the players. I wanted the players. I thought when 71 training sessions and all these games, that this bunch of players deserved to have a double that they can remember for a few years. And I've always said it, Stevie, whether it's local soccer, local GA, whether it's Division 4, Junior B, Premier League, and it doesn't matter. They're great memories to the individuals that are involved. And we've certainly had many memories this year. Like I said, just around 6 years ago now, I called to Lee's house in Tipp Town. Obviously, both of us from Tipp Town. I said to Lee, I have a small bit of a project. I'm after accepting the Cashel Town job. They're in Division 2. We're going to set up a B team in Division 3. Would you take them over, be involved? So Lee done the B team the first year.
Lee, when he went to you, what was your reaction first of all?
I was surprised they actually knocked on my door, to be honest, Stevie, because we were with each other at Tipp Town before that, and look, it probably didn't. It died out. It probably didn't end in the best ways. So that's why I was even more, to be honest, to this day, grateful that he did call down to my a house where I was living at the time, and asked me to become part of this project. And he says, and I know for a fact Boca went ringing every player that used to play for Cashel. He met him, he talked to him, he did the exact same with them that he did with me, and we all bought into what he was saying and bought into his project, and just never looked back since. And it's probably the best decision I made sports-wise outside of playing that I ever made, to be honest, to come over to Cashel FC.
Brian, you have something really about getting inside people's heads. I don't think you ever studied psychology, really, did you? So if you didn't, maybe you have a natural talent when it comes to psychology.
One of my players, actually, Donny Reid, said to me the other night. Donny is a gentleman, another first team squad player. He just says to me, I have a way with players. I'm able to, and that's nice to hear.
And did you ever study psychology?
No, I didn't. I did in my sleep, I suppose, Stevie.
No, but seriously, it's a wonderful gift to have, that you can just manage the players in all ways, in all aspects.
It's like everything, Stevie. I love the game.
You either have it or you don't.
I like the league, but ultimately, Stevie, I love people. And then when you have a bunch of players that are playing for you every Sunday, you become. I don't think I've ever fallen out with a player at Cashel Town and never give out on the sideline and stuff like that. And look, we've a great club going, a great tight knit. Carol Stromes is the chairman since I become in the club. PJ Flanagan is the secretary, and Packy Horn is the treasurer, and there's a few other committee members. But when I spoke to Carol 6 years ago, he gave me a list of 50 names that used to play for the club in the last 2 or 3 years, and I think I gave about 2 months ringing them 50 players, and I didn't know 3/4 of them, but I got them all back at the club playing soccer. Their time passed, then we got back experienced players, we won a few trophies, but ultimately now the development of players, we got the youth set up right over the last few years. We have a good B team set up, and like I said, in the last few years, Palmer's Hill is now renamed to Dixie Curvin Park. It's a fantastic setup. We've a stand there. We've a new AstroTurf joint venture with the school. We gave, people don't realise, our first 3 years at the club, Stevie. Our first year we trained in Leahy Park. Our second year and third year we trained in Cannon Hayes Recreation Centre. The players travel to Tipp Town 2 nights a week.
That's commitment, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know, that doesn't go, that was unnoticed, you know. So it's fantastic effort the players put in that time. But and we went to Rose Green, but the committee are always there for us. We have a very small committee. We could do with more committee members, like every club, I suppose. But I do think there's a foundation now in place after this year to really go on and be Premier League regulars for the next few years. How high you can go in the Premier League, Stevie, I don't know. The big clubs are always there, but if you keep doing the right thing, the right things will happen.
I'm going to come back to you on that question in a few moments in relation to the Premier League, because we're nearly ready to wrap it up now. But Lee, if I could go back to you there for a moment, I believe, obviously you're there with him now for what, 6 years?
6 seasons now, Stevie. Yeah.
Right, okay. What does the future hold for you now with Cashel Town?
Well, look, it's no secret now that I'll be stepping down as the first team head coach.
What was the reaction from the players when you broke that news?
They're all break down in tears in front of me, Stevie. No, they didn't. But what look, I suppose we were kind of slowly saying it throughout the season that I'll be taking a backward seat. I'm still very much going to be involved, but I suppose the main thing for me, because of work commitments... You'll probably take up a different role within the club Different
itself.
role, yeah. Just with work commitments and stuff like that, if I know that I don't have to be there at the weekends, then that just puts less stress on myself. And you can't be first team head coach and only turn up when you want, because Boca never misses a game. He's flew back from Spain for games. And yeah, that's just not who I am. You're either all in or you're not, in that sense, you know.
Brian, your response to that really, because you will miss him.
Oh, massive loss.
I know he'll be there in the background, but as a team coach?
I said to someone the other night, sometimes when I hear the word that someone is going to stay on in the background, I kind of always fear that kind of, you're in the background for a month, 2 months, and then in 3 months you're gone. and then you might see. But I don't think that's the case with Lee, because he's become very embedded in what's gone on. And I think if and from the outside looking in, Stevie, people won't believe what goes on in our club, what we've done and what the club has done and where we've come from.
Well,
Like,
you see, you have to be in that position to see what goes on behind it, especially on wet, mucky nights out there training, etc.
and me and Lee aren't looking for credit for this, but 6 years ago, the club had one team in Division 1 and no U team and no B team. Sorry, one team in Division 2. And now we're a Premier League club. We're challenging for national honours in the U. We were this year. Our B team were in the Paddy Purtle final last year. Our first team have won more trophies this year, and we're back where we belong. And there's a lot of people involved. Lads have come in to take over the B team. Paul Hoare done the B team this year. Danny Hallisey done the U team. And lads come and go with the B team and the A team. But ultimately, we've stayed in charge of the first team and trying to roll the whole lot. But the committee then, like I said, the three lads especially of Carl, PJ and Packy, who've been great for us over the 6 years. And then there's other fellas, I'm probably forgetting a few, Paca.
And what about the great Dixie Corvin?
Ah, sure, look, Dick, like, you do, like, watching the pitch being renamed to Dixie Corvin Park, and when we won the league, all the boys walking down to the stone, you've probably seen the photo of the cup, like, that's a fantastic memory, you know. And like, I didn't really know Dixie just from my play soccer. You'd always meet Dixie in matches, he salutes you and you salute him. But in the first 2 years I came to the club, things like I'd arrive up to Dixie Corvin Park on a Sunday morning, the gates were open, the jerseys were hanging on the dressing room, the 5 match balls were in the dugout, everything was done for it. These little things, priceless.
Okay, Lee, you were just in there, priceless, isn't it?
Priceless, yeah. People like Dixie, they only come round once in a lifetime, to be honest. And for the short time that I was lucky enough to know him, there's just nothing he wouldn't do for you, or he was just so positive too. And yeah, it was just a great honour, and it was a great day we had for him too. There was a big turnout, big crowd for the opening of the pitch.
Yeah, I met many of the family above that day.
Yeah, I just
great
think
to meet him.
I even said to the lads, because of all the delays with getting the league, because of the rain delay, I said, lads, when we do win it, the sun will be shining down on us in the Dixie Corvin Park. And sure, it was the day we won the league. The sun was splitting the rocks.
Yeah, it's like as if it was written in the stars.
Definitely in my sense, and yeah, it's just a great honour to name the pitch in his name in his honour.
Brian, second last question, if I could, sponsors.
Yeah, I'm sure. Look, clubs don't run without. One of the big things, Stevie, is our own split the pot. We started that. I remember talking to Packy Horn. We all sitting down, and during COVID, clubs came into financial times because, unfortunately, some bills still had to be paid in clubs and stuff like that.
Yeah, it cost a lot to run a club.
Yeah, and there's no income because there was no draws, no nothing.
Insurance, registration, you name it. It just
we were
coming in.
I remember we were finishing our season. We knew the finish of the season, but there had been no money taken in for 7 months. And when we went back, there was no gates or there was anything like that, and you still couldn't go to the bingo to do the draws. So there was no income. So you're sitting down. So we come up with the split the pot, and it goes ahead every Saturday night in Hall na Féile at the bingo. And again, it's been a huge success with jackpots of €700 to €800 every week. And again,
it's very consistent around that figure, isn't it?
Again, the players, I have to give great credit to the players as well, Steve. And this is one thing I'm big on. If you don't buy into, if when I go to try and sign a player, look for a player, if I feel a player won't buy into what's going on, there's no point in having him. You don't want a player that comes in the gate, walks out, never pays his membership, never pays that, because they have no interest in being involved in a club then. But I find the person that signs up for the 50-50, gets his few last man standing or whatever, really appreciates what's been done for him, and he buys into everything you ask him, you know. And great credit goes to the committee for that draw. Again, we play Sunday, the A team, B team, youths could be out Saturday, and the committee are above in Hall na Féile on a Saturday night, doing the draw, you know, to
and
fun
again,
things.
that's one of the other things that goes on in the background. Now, Brian, my final question to you is, I have been speaking with various different counties. I'm not putting you on the spot, but, however, I do know 2 clubs in the Cork League, and there's one in another district league that have made inquiries about you. Are you going to stay as manager of Cashel Town, yes or no?
That's a big question. That's a big scoop. Obviously, losing Lee has been a massive effect.
And you have 6 years now done?
Yeah, 6 years, 5 seasons. And I suppose...
Will we see you for the 7th year?
Yes, you will.
are you confirming here now on my own YouTube channel that you will remain as manager of Cashel Town FC?
I can confirm that I will be back pre-season in 4 weeks' time with Cashel Town, Stevie. Yes, there will be a few changes. Information has to come in, and I have to meet one or two people. But I've decided to stay on for a 7th year, 6th season, and very much looking forward to it. Like I said, we're losing Lee, but I now know that I can be, if I'm in Spain or if I'm away, that I can ring Lee because he wants to play this role. He's very good friends with the players, and that's a key for me. I said this the other night, and I really mean this, Steve. When you give 6 years at a club, it's like playing for Arval Rovers all my life and stuff. Players become like your best friend. These players are like my brothers, and I said it, the younger fellas, they feel like they're sons of mine because they're all 18. We had 12 of our squad are 19 or younger, and then there's the few older lads that they become our best friends.
So
and,
Brian, I have to be honest with you, there's going to be a few clubs that will be disappointed that news has now been broken.
I don't know. I don't know, but yeah, look, I'm just delighted to be coming back for another season, and the club have want me back. That was utmost. It wasn't just my decision. I always find at the end of every season, you in junior soccer, you go. There's no contract, Stevie. If the club wants you back, that's great. You go and meet them, and they were happy to have me back. I was happy to come back in the end. I have a future. Yeah, Lee is right. They've never not backed us, you know. And it's great, you know. That means then your work is appreciated. But again, I feel this year just the bunch of players we have and the club, everyone has really bought into it, you know. So it's been a massive success.
Just say good luck to Colin May. He's been at the club.
Yeah. Just we were saying that one of our stalwarts for the last 5 or 6 years, Callum Maher, who's heading off there next month to Germany, living. So he's going to be a massive loss for us. But look, he's been one of the servants we went and signed as a 17-year-old, and he came to me 2 weeks ago and said, I have very bad news. And I thought he was going to say I'm out for the next 2 weeks, but he said he's travelling to Germany, and I said,
well, you know what, we wish him the very best.
Yeah, and
I
said that's fantastic news. I want to hear that, because he'll come back to Cashel Town when he comes back from Germany, you know.
He certainly will. Guys, all I can do is just wish you the very best of luck. We have the shield there in front of you. You also have the cup there with you as well. And again, I suppose really, look, next season is going to be another great season. Hopefully all going well up to the Premier League for Cashel Town FC. Thank you indeed for joining me on my own YouTube channel. So anybody, again, that want to wish you luck, I'm sure that they certainly will. Brian Boca, Glasheen manager, and for Lee Dudley, two great men, thank you indeed for joining me.
Thanks very much, Steve.